What's going on, family, friends? This is Terrence Manning. This is my thoughts uncut. Today, we're going to talk about how the judge is ordering the Trump administration and USDA to give out the funds, the emergency funds for SNAP program. We're going to show you USDA responds on why they can't do that. And we're going to see about the unions who are against the Dems and the Democrat who could not answer questions about the SNAP program and if they have a separate billing term for it. Let's take a look.
More now on our breaking news. A second judge has ruled that the Trump administration must use emergency funds to at least partially cover SNAP benefits in November. Remember, 42 million Americans depend on these benefits for groceries to feed themselves and their families.
Yeah, so many people. And Renee Marsh is following this. Renee, what else are we learning? A very quickly moving story here.
Yeah, so these two judges, one in Boston and one in Rhode Island, making these decisions just really just minutes apart. And so what we have here at this hour is that these two federal judges are aligned in saying that the Trump administration is required to tap into this emergency fund that is sitting at the USDA that contains close to $6 billion. They must tap into that fund.
I'm not understanding, how can a judge just start telling what the administration should do with their money? There's a reason why they're not allowing USDA to give out this emergency funds. You'll see this further in the video, but I've never seen judges do this in any other administration. It's only because it's Trump.
To keep SNAP benefits going. If you remember, the Trump administration said because of the shutdown, they had spoken to states and told them that payments would not be made on November 1st. That meant that some 42 million people who rely on this program starting tomorrow were not going to have funds on their cards to buy groceries.
And that's another thing. Why is there 42 million people on this SNAP program? That is something we need to address once this is all over.
For their families. But these two judges said that that was unlawful and that the Trump administration needed to release the funds for this program. In court today, the Trump administration's lawyers had argued that they weren't mandated to use this emergency fund, and they said that the shutdown was actually not an emergency situation in which they would move to use these funds. To that, the lawyers representing both the cities and the nonprofits who were challenging the suspension of this program.
See, she mentioned nonprofits. Nonprofits are always trying to make that money. Yeah, I'm just saying.
That millions of people not having access to food indeed is an emergency. So this judge in Rhode Island essentially ordered them to release these funds as soon as possible. Worth noting that the close to $6 billion will not cover all that is needed to fund SNAP throughout the country.
And that's the issue. They need about $8 to $9 billion to cover for the entire month of November. They have about $6 billion, between 5.5, 6 billion. So that's only about 2.5 weeks. Now, what are you going to do? And the Democrats will tell you, oh, well, pull from somewhere else. So the Democrats have no idea what to do. They just want them to keep pulling from other areas of the government, which you can't do. And we're going to see that this USDA, I believe she's a director, she's going to explain why you can't just do this.
So the fact that the Democrats are saying, but wait, USDA has money in their accounts, why it is really their fault, I've seen it over and over and over from some of their leaders, is absolute false, and it is a lie. We have been saying on October 10th, we sent messages out. On October 24th, we sent messages out. These benefits end on November 1st. Now, let me get down into a little bit of the details on that to better explain. So there is a contingency fund at USDA, but that contingency fund, by the way, doesn't even cover, I think, half of the $9.2 billion that would be required for November SNAP, but it is only allowed to flow if the underlying program is funded. It's called a contingency fund. And by law, contingency fund can only flow when the underlying fund is flowing. So for example,
So that makes sense. Okay, let's say you get a paycheck. You spend half your paycheck. You have an emergency fund. You're not allowed to dip into that emergency fund until you know the next paycheck is coming. That's exactly what she says. It's very simple. Democrats know this, and they're trying to use American people's emotions and pull on their heartstrings to condemn the Republicans, but it's not the Republicans' fault. The Democrats in the Senate are not voting to open up the government.
If the underflow, if today the Democrats say, oh, never mind, sorry, we'll open the government, and SNAP flows, Hurricane Melissa or one of the hurricanes hits, that's the contingency fund that we would use to send more money into the vulnerable communities that are harmed
Makes
by
sense.
a specific
Makes sense.
event like a hurricane. But it is a contingency fund that can only flow if the underlying appropriation is approved. And listen, even if it could flow, it doesn't even cover half of the month of November. So here we are again in 2 weeks having the exact same conversation.
I would just add to that. The Democrats are lying about that, and I think they know that. Some of the ones who are out saying it are actually attorneys. They can read the black letter law themselves.
And that's what bothers me, family. These Democrats, some of them are attorneys. So when they read this and they read what's in the bill and they know these things, but they're still lying to you. And that's so dishonest. It's so disingenuous. They do not care about you. The reason they're doing this is to continue to fund illegal migrants that are in the United States of America. And they are doing that because it fills up their pockets too. All these cities and other states that are sanctuary cities, they're using this because they want funding for themselves. This is the cycle that happens all the time. They do not care about us, guys.
They've even filed a lawsuit, you saw, to try to do it. Why? Because they wanted a talking point. They know that's a frivolous piece of litigation. They know they're going to lose, but they also know it'll take many weeks or months to have that ultimately determined by a court because of the way the justice system works. So they're using it as a talking point to try to claim.
He's right. Now we're going to look at this Democrat in Congress who can't even answer simple questions from this interview. Take a look.
Joining us from Capitol Hill is Janelle Bynum, who is Democrat from Oregon, represents the 5th district there. Congresswoman, let's begin with SNAP benefits. Funding runs out on Saturday. Should Democrats pass a standalone bill to fund SNAP benefits?
Good morning. Well, let's be clear. Republicans run the House, they run the Senate, they have the White House, they have the control to make sure that Americans get what they need. And I'm here standing up to make sure that we put forth front and center the American needs so no child goes hungry.
Is that a yes, then, that there should be a vote on the standalone legislation?
I'm here. My Republican colleagues are on vacation. We want to make sure that we stand up for American people. Speaker Johnson has the right.
You see how she dodged the question? She asked her a very simple question. If it was a standalone bill, would you vote yes for it? Which means all this hoopla they're going through about SNAP. Okay, let's do a standalone bill. Let's feed these families, 42 million families, people. Let's do this. That way, now we can continue with trying to go with the shutdown and talk and litigate all that stuff, But she can't answer the question.
And the control of the House so that we can have a vote. That's not in my control.
If he did, would you vote yes?
Put a bill on the table and we can look at it.
We talked earlier to Congressman
She won't say
Tim
yes.
Burchett, Republican of Tennessee. He was on the program, and he made the argument that Democrats in previous situations avoided government shutdowns by voting 13 times for so-called clean continuing resolutions that would fund the government at the previous year's funding levels. Why not agree now?
Well, look, I just got here. I don't play politics. I want a clean bill that focuses on the American people, that makes sure kids have a full belly. And, all of the clean this, clean that. Americans don't understand that. They know if they have their benefits or not. So put a bill on the table, make sure it's very pure and clean, as they like to say, and it doesn't have a whole lot of fluff in it. I'm not here for games. I just want to make sure kids get fed.
They did have a clean CR vote on September 19th in the House. Did you vote for it?
I disagree with your characterization, and
What does that mean? I disagree with your characterization. What, lady, she just said they had a clean bill already. Did you vote for it? Let's watch again.
For it. They did have a clean CR vote on September 19th in the
Yes.
House. Did you vote for it?
I disagree with your characterization and want to make sure that we're very clear about what Republicans have been doing. Any bill that they've put forth, they've always had some extra stuff to it. There's always been a poison pill to it. So I disagree with your character.
This is the same bill that was passed earlier this year, and also the same spending that was in the Biden administration. So there's no excuse for the Democrats to vote yes on this. She can't even answer simple questions. She doesn't want to say yes because she knows she's lying.
What were the poison pills of the clean CR or the continuing resolution? You say it's not clean, that was voted on in the House in mid-September.
Here's what's important. I think what you're trying to do is shift the responsibility to Democrats. Speaker Johnson controls the House. He should come back, pull Republicans off of vacation, and make sure that we have discussions on what the country needs. We know children need to be fed. Anything else is passing the buck and is playing politics.
What have you heard from your constituents about Obamacare premiums? And without these enhanced tax credits, what are they learning about the cost of health care?
We've had 21 town halls. People are very concerned about their access to health care. What's really important to know is that even if your premiums aren't going up, even if you are not one of the people affected by changes to Medicare reimbursements or things like that, when you lose medical providers in an area because they can't afford to stay in business, everybody loses. So we lose access to pediatricians.
So that means you need to hurry up, say yes to this bill so the government can be open, and then you guys can get to work and figure out something. This is what you're supposed to be doing. This is your job. We're going to look at all of the unions who are opposed to the Democrats because they're upholding the government from being open. Let's take a look.
So far, 5 unions and 4 of the largest airlines have called on lawmakers on the left to pass Republicans' clean bill to fund the government. Watch this.
The biggest way to ensure the safety, security, and reliability of our national air traffic control system is to pass a clean continuing resolution.
Everyone knows, the Vice President, Congress, is that this shutdown needs to end now. It has to happen now. These guys need to convene, say yes to that clean CR, get this thing back on track, and again, restore that confidence in the American public.
But let's get a clean CR and get that negotiation done behind closed doors without the pressure and without putting the American workers and the American economy at risk.
You see it there for yourself, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family. These union leaders and members, they are not going for what the Democrats are trying to do. They know what they're trying to do, and they do not like it. And you saw some of those companies. Those were some heavy hitters. Those were not small companies. These were Fortune 500 companies. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching all my other videos. And for all of you who leave comments, thank you. I respond to all of them as fast as I can. And I do appreciate a lot of you who's been just giving me these great comments and about my channel. You know, I'm new at this and I'm learning as I go, but this is fun. And I'm not going to stop. For those of you who don't like what is being brought to light because it's the truth, it's okay. Difference of opinion. That also is what we need in this country. And Dialogue is great. Thank you for watching. Stay blessed.